Hi, everybody. I'm Dave. Larry and I can talk about what it's like to work with 2,000-pound blocks of stone, which is interesting. But I wanted to jump back quick and follow up on a couple of things that Mark said about why this green space is so important. And Mark talked about Steve and Christie's early role in this, and it emphasizes what these are. These are just basically, overlooked spaces. They're those interstitial spaces that nobody really noticed about that have tons of potential. And it's all up and down the corridor here. So I don't know when we sort of started noticing that 20, 25 years ago. And this was, Mark's not kidding. This was a dump up here. There was just fly dumping. It was just a no man's land. So Stephen was very worried about that angled parking coming up all the way through here because there was a rising demand for that. So what we realize is, wait a second, we have this potential for this linear green space going from as far down south as you can think of all the way up to Peterson. And if you think about it, there's the lake, there's the river going north south, and there's nothing in between. So it really presented a unique opportunity. The hard part is, how do you get it done? But when you add it all up, there's incredible potential. On this side, you have one street, Winnemac, to cross. That's a huge safety difference alone. It's sort of uninterrupted movement. That's one example of why this is such a unique opportunity. So we developed a design, as Mark said, probably 5 years ago now. It's sort of lost track time a little bit, maybe 6 years ago. And we've been working on this idea with all the players that Mark mentioned. And it really is an example of the critical role of coordinated neighborhood backing of an idea. This wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you guys. It really wouldn't. And then incrementally building relationships with people in the alderman's office or Department of Planning, or you name it, neighbor space, working those ideas slowly, slowly, slowly. It's a ton of work Mark has done, probably thousands of hours. I don't know how many hours of work that slowly get you where you are. And that's what it took to get to here. It took 5, 6 years of pushing an idea incrementally. And then at some point, the idea develops its own momentum and it just goes. And it goes very quickly. It's sort of like, I don't know, something just sort of appearing. Because literally, that's how it happened. We were kind of feeling a little low about the project, maybe. And all of a sudden, the alderman's office comes back and says, "Hey, we've got this funding opportunity. We can do this like now. We're going to do this now." And that, which was last year. So all of a sudden, we're scrambling to make this reality. So that's kind of the big picture. That's the thinking on the whole thing. I think we should just walk on down, pick up again at the south end. Yeah, and Larry can chime in, and we can talk about what it's like to move these giant blocks of stone around, and then the schedule for finishing all of that design. So, okay.